Okay, I think we're good to go. People are still going to be joining, but I think we should start. So, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm very excited about this webinar specifically. Our topic for today is changing the face of retail. Just before we get started, a few tips, householding, and the agenda. So we're going to start off with introducing our wonderful panelists that are with us today. We'll get to that in a second. Then we'll start to discuss the evolution of online shopping, how things are coming along, trends within the retail industry. Then we're going to discuss about navigating retail challenges and how we solve these challenges using wonderful technological solutions. We will also discuss some real examples, case studies that Treatise and our panelists for today have been working on. And we'll touch a little bit about what's next, what's waiting for us in the future, Q&A, of course. And that's going to be our webinar. You can always, during the webinar, post your questions in the Q&A section. And we have here with us Noemi to answer those questions as we go along. And if it's a question that Noemi thinks we should discuss here live, she'll just leave it to the end, to the Q&A part, and then we'll address those questions. So if the question is there, don't worry. It won't go unanswered. And we also have the chat. So in the chat, you can just have general chat. So let's keep the two separate. And this session is obviously recorded and will be available on demand for anyone here and for everyone that didn't make it. So without further ado, we'll start with the introductions. I'm going to start with myself. My name is Boaz. I'm VP of Business Development at Treatise. For those of you who don't know, at Treatise, we create immersive and virtual experiences using digital twin technology. We offer services, products, and solutions for many different industries, and of course, for the retail industry, which is our focus for today. We also have with us Dominique Bazin. Dominique, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself and Fitting Box. So just in a few minutes, if you can tell us about yourself and the company.
Yes, no problem. Thank you, Boaz, and thank you to Treatise for the invitation to that amazing webinar. So I'm Dominique. I'm the VP Sales of Fitting Box. So who is Fitting Box? Fitting Box is the company who have been trying to digitize eyewear since 15 years. So bringing digitalization to the eyewear world. Thanks to 15 patents, to a lot of R&D in augmented reality on the diminished reality. Basically, our big focus is making the frames available to virtual try-on on the different websites. We are today the world leader in the virtual try-on and in the glasses digitalization. And we have been reaching more than 120 customers last year digitally through all the platforms who are using our technology, and also through Optical Center on what Treatise did with them.
Great. And you're based in France, Dominique?
Yes, we are based in France, and I'm right now in Toulouse, where the sun is amazing. So I hope it's the same for all of you.
Great, thanks. And we also have with us Andreas from Charlie Rocks. Andreas.
A few words. Yeah,
yes, please.
Thanks too for this invitation to this webinar. It's very exciting to do this. I'm Andreas. I'm the CIO, so the Chief Information Officer of Charlie Rocks and one of the founders. Charlie Rocks is a marketing agency in the very south of Austria, near the border to Italy. We founded 2018. And we got 2,000 customers to give them virtual tours and virtual experiences together with Treatise. Thanks for this cooperation. And our challenge is that we have this high amount of customers to give them standard solutions with individual features. And at last, we're proud to say that we are the market leader in this Central European area. outgoing here from Austria.
Fantastic. So again, I'm very happy to have you both with me today to discuss this interesting, never-ending topic. And before we discuss the technological side of things and the different products that you offer, I want to take it back a little bit and discuss the evolution of online shopping. And I think we all remember the break of online shopping probably a few decades ago, while also my parents were still very cautious about sharing their credit card info online, and nobody really knew what it was. But online shopping has really picked up since, and you can see in the stats that in terms of revenue, it's increasingly growing. It's never the growth trend is very stable. And this very staggering stat of 79% of shoppers shop online at least once a month, which is quite amazing, I think. And I can personally confirm that fact, because I know that my wife is always ordering stuff online more than once a month, I guess. So everybody's familiar with that. And what we see is more and more companies and retailers that offer the online shopping option. So it's not just the offline shopping, the physical shopping at the store, it's the online shopping. And we even see some of these that offer only online shopping. And we can see how this looks when we compare online to offline shopping. You can see here some more staggering stats about how the revenue from e-commerce in the retail industry is just increasingly growing, and we're talking about billions here. But again, 20% of retail purchases are expected to take place online in 2023. So this means that out of all purchases in the retail industry, 20 are going to be online. And in 2019, which was pretty much 3.5 years ago, it was only 16%. So we can also understand that the trend currently is for shoppers to convert from offline shopping, from the traditional, let's go to the store and look for something to buy, to online shopping, which is let's go online and look for something to buy. Because the advantages for online shopping are immense. There's so many advantages as opposed to the physical shopping. And I think that's basically why we're here today, because we want to talk about how the technology creates these advantages. And the first advantage is the actual shop, which is the digital twin technology. This is something that Treatise, as I mentioned, uses, and I'm sure Dominique and Andreas are also very familiar with it. And it's the capability to create a digital twin, an exact replica of the store, and have it online. So you can see in the clip here, we have this furniture store. So instead of having a page, an HTML page where you scroll down and you look at the products, here we're really trying to simulate the feeling of walking around in the store. So it's a walkthrough experience of the actual store, and we can go and see the different products as if we're there, and we can actually almost sit on a couch and try it on. If we're talking about trying things on, I think after we spoke about the technology for digitizing the store, I think that Dominique, you have a lot to share about how we can visualize the actual product, which is the glasses.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, Boaz. So this is very important today. So of course, what you say is fully true on digitalization. Virtual try-on e-commerce is going to be the touch point of tomorrow for the existing customer, but especially for the younger generation, whose first touch point with the brands, with the product is going to be online. And that's very important to be able to connect with them, because they are the customer of tomorrow. And this is very important. Of course, we are offering a very amazing solution that are digitally helping the customer to try. In that case, that's eyewear, but there are different examples. But where I really want to focus is digital. It's creating emotion online, and that's very important for us. We are working with pure player, big e-commerce companies, retailer, brands, lens manufacturer. But the first thing is creating emotion thanks to the technology. So being able for the customer to try the frame anytime, anywhere, at any time. That's very important, thanks to the virtual try-on technology that we have been developing since 15 years. And that's what's going to make the difference, because at the end of the day, you want to create emotion, to create value, to increase the value of the basket that for the customer. So whether it's going to buy online, whether it's going to book an appointment in the store, because digital, it's a journey. So that's what we call by Fittingbox, it's phygital. So you can start online and finish in store, or you can start in store and finish online. That's all the digital journey should be done. So that's the reason why we want to create amazing experience for our customer. But for that, you need the technology to make virtual try-on available, but also the technology to be able to digitize all the different assets. And that's also very important, because online is the main point, but you need to create content, and the content can be the technology and the asset, and that can also be the experience of visiting a store.
Yeah. So Dominic, run me through it. If I go on online on my mobile phone and I run into a Fittingbox type of try-on feature, is this an app that I need to download? How easy is this to use as an end user?
Absolutely not. That's an API key. So we have been selected not to use app, because we don't want the customer to have to download anything. So it's HTML5 technology. It's an API that you can embed on any website or any solution, like we did for Optical Center together with the Tradis solution. And basically, we don't want the customer to be lost. So everything happened in less than 400 milliseconds. And you just have to agree to share your camera on the customer website, and then you will be able to try the frame straight away. We don't want any cut in the sales process. We want that to be very quick, in order really that to make sure so the customer see the frame, find it nice, try it on himself, then is okay. It means, okay, on myself, it's gonna pass, it's gonna fit too. And then he just have to order and to create value for himself, of course, emotion of buying a new sunglasses frames, and then also making money for the retailer while using our solution.
Right. So and for the end user, if I'm thinking about it, always trying to compare it to the physical shopping, it's in a way it's even more comfortable than going to an eyewear store and asking the the person there selling, can you bring me those and bring me those and bring me those? Here it's just with the click of the button, I can just switch frames and I see it instantly on me. So I think that's pretty amazing.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference. You are right. Plus, you are, as you say, you are making the decision by yourself. It's not your wife or your husband or the optometrist who is going to decide for you which frame is going to suit you the better. You are going to be the one who make the decision at the end. And as you say, together you are also shy people who don't like to interact with salespeople, who feel overacted by sales team. So for them, that's a really clever way to make a selection at home on to order directly from home.
Yeah, great. That's amazing. In my case, my wife is still going to make the decisions, but I understand what you're saying. So
and you have to send her a screenshot.
Yeah, exactly. So we spoke about a kind of the digital twin of the store, and then we also spoke with Dominique about visualizing the actual product. I want to talk to you, Andreas, a little bit about the final stage of the shopping journey, which is the payment. And we know that, like I mentioned, in the past, people were very cautious to how they share their credit card details, how they pay online. So from your experience, what I know that the main two payment integrations that we're looking at here are PayPal and Stripe. What could you share with us like a short overview of each one and the differences, like what the advantages of each one are?
Of course, I can. First, I have to say that we are here in a new generation of e-commerce, and maybe we can discuss this a little bit later between the classical online shops and the virtual online shops we are doing together with Treatis. But back to the payments, I guess the most important thing regarding payments is trust. And you said over the year, the people are less shy than at the beginning of online shopping, and therefore it's important to integrate the most trustful payment gateways in our e-commerce solution, and that's PayPal and that's Stripe. Why it's PayPal and it's Stripe? PayPal is a traditional company. Anyone know the story that Elon Musk was at PayPal at the beginning, and how long they are on the market? And I guess nearly everyone has paid something via PayPal. And it's the great plus is that it's so easy, and it's called beginner friendly on the chart, and it's available in the most of the countries all over the world. And so it's for small companies very easy to start with PayPal, to do this business account and to give their customers a trustful payment gateway. That's the first thing. And Stripe is, I guess, the star of the last year in payment gateways, because I had a figure out of the States, 90% of the American adults paid via Stripe minimum once their life. And the big plus of Stripe is that it has a full integration to everywhere, so you can customize your payment experience, and it's very affordable. They are with a model of 2.9%. They charge 2.9% of the payment sum, and that's it. And so we have in our e-commerce solution, as you said, was the two largest payment gateways integrated, and in these two payment gateways, all the other payments like credit cards, you have the logos Visa and MasterCard there. And even in Central Europe, in Austria and Germany, there is one payment method. I don't know who is from there. It's called Klarna, and it's a payment via invoice, and it's very popular in Germany and Austria. And in Stripe, you have integrated Klarna as well, and that's very important for us too.
Great. So you mentioned PayPal is beginner friendly. So I'm assuming that the smaller retailers might want to start with PayPal. But if a small to medium retailer wants to use Stripe, how easy is that for them?
For a little bit of technician person, it's also very easy, but it's a little bit more to configure in the backend than on PayPal. PayPal is just click activate and do I guess 1 cent payment to them, and then it's activated. And Stripe offers a little bit more of different functions, so it's a little bit more difficult. But for anyone who is technician friendly, it's no problem.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's
no worries about activating Stripe. So
yeah, and I'm sure even if someone isn't so technical, they can outsource such a service. So
it's also part of the agency most of the time, which is doing the shop.
Yeah, so we spoke about all these things, the digital twin, visualizing the products, the payment gateways, and I think what's so special about Treaties is that that's where everything comes together in the Treaties V-commerce solution. And the Treaties V-commerce solution is for itself a full standalone e-commerce system. So you can add your products, you can manage inventory, shipping, order management in terms of payments and invoicing. And as we spoke, Andreas, payment integrations with Stripe and PayPal, and also customized payment integrations, which I'll discuss in a second. And also product integrations like Fittingbox. And I know, Dominique, that Fittingbox, it's not only the try-on feature, it's also creating a 3D model of the glasses to have within the digital twin. Is that correct?
Exactly, because basically the twin world need also to have exactly the same stock as you have in the shops or the product you want to promote. So at the beginning of virtual try-on, we have to digitize every item that you want to try at the end in the digital world, and that's somewhere where Fittingbox is very productive. Since 15 years, we have been developing digital boxes in order to be able at scale to digitize a lot more than 4,000 frames every month. And today we have the biggest database of 3D frames available for all our customers in our database. And that in the case of Optical Center, we even digitize their private label collection in order for them to be able to show them. And as we say, we create emotion at the end of the day, because during that digital visit, thanks to what Treaties did build, so the customer can also make the virtual try-on and see himself, and that help him to convert more.
Yeah, and it's great because like you said, it's creating emotion. I can really relate to that. It's and in addition to that, another possibility that we have in Treaties V-commerce is more APIs. So I know a lot of smaller retails might already have a shop on Shopify. So we have an integration with Shopify that you can connect your Shopify store with a digital twin. We spoke about the payment APIs with Stripe, but Treaties also knows how to develop new integrations, custom integrations for the bigger retailers, because a lot of the bigger retailers have their own internal payment gateway or a inventory system. And we also know how to connect to those systems. And we'll see that in just a few slides in the case studies. But I think what really kind of, the big thing here in terms of the V-commerce solution is the social experience. And what we're trying to do, just like Dominic said, is to create emotion. And shopping is an emotional experience. We have to acknowledge that when someone goes to the mall to go shopping, it's not because he needs to buy bread because he's hungry. It's because he wants to go out. He wants to have fun. It's something very emotional. And when we're talking about online shopping, we want to simulate that experience, that emotion. And what Treaties allows you to do is to take that one level higher and create a social experience so that users can enter the space, the digital twin, with an avatar that they can customize of themselves. And then they can see other avatars in the space of other shoppers. They can join with friends and family with their, each one has their avatar, and they can interact. So this is already very similar to two friends going to the mall and going shopping together and talking about the products, because we have this social experience as another layer on top of all the wonderful solutions that we saw now. And it all comes together within the Treaties V-commerce. And I think it's kind of wonderful that today we have here Andreas and Dominique. It's two separate companies, but we know how to communicate and to create value together. And we were talking a little bit, Andreas, about smaller retails and bigger retails. So first of all, I'd be very interested to hear what type of retailers Charlie Rocks are working with, and if you can share some of the challenges that each type is facing from your experience.
Of course, yeah. As I said in my introduction, we are focused on the small and medium enterprises because with our 2,000 customers, there are of course a few bigger ones, but very many small ones, and they have the challenge to build their own e-commerce. Either they have no e-commerce, then it's very difficult for them to start because of the design, because of the techniques, because of the hosting of different online shops. And of course, there are a little bit of drag and drop online shop possibilities on the market, but then they have this online shops nearby or parallel to their company website, and that's all difficult. And if you talk about small shops, then you have with the Treaty's WooCommerce solution, as you said, a fully standalone WooCommerce system where it's very easy to enter, to build in the product, and it's not complicated. It's easy and it's standalone, and it's you can integrate it in your website, so you have everything together in one system. That's very important for the small customers. And the challenges are good and they can be solved to them. What's difficult or more difficult is, or more challenging, is when a smaller shop or a shop has already an e-commerce solution, because then it's not possible to give them a standalone e-commerce together or parallel to his existing e-commerce. And then we come to the area of the large shops, and then we come to the point which you had on your on the chart before, the integrations. For example, it's Shopify. Then we are working together with you on an integration on Joomla Shop. We're working on an integration to WooCommerce, which is quite popular in our area, together with WordPress pages. And I guess that's the future, that you can handle any customer either with standalone or with integrations. And that's our working progress and working process. And that's our challenge together with you guys on the development side.
Yeah.
And you, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned the bigger retails. The challenge is always that customization that they're interested in, which always involves a little bit of development work. So, Dominique, I want to ask you, in Fittingbox, do you have the capabilities of talking to big retailers, to making these customizations? How do you approach that?
So our approach is fully open. So with Fittingbox, we are really customer centric. So we really focus on customer needs. So we are able to adapt ourselves and even sometimes to develop. I remember a few years ago, we even co-developed with Essilor a patent together on the measurement. So that's the same for eyewear. So for example, we have a customer like big luxury brands, for example, Dior's. Not to name them, with whom they are looking for more detail on the digitalization of their frame. So we have been able to create a digitalization process that's a bit different in order to focus on some different detail they are looking for. What is very important is listening about the customer. Technology is one thing, but if we can do more with Tredy's, but also Fittingbox itself, we are always able to make more, to make the step beyond, to make sure that the customer is going to be happy at the end of the day on the end user, because we are all fighting for making the end consumer happy and making him buy some product. Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the big projects that we did this type of customizations was the Optical Center. It was a project that Treaty's and Fittingbox were working on together. And you can see here in the video a little bit about everything that we did there.
basically Optical Center, one of the top 10 eyewear retailers in the world, and one of the leading ones in Europe and France. And they wanted to basically create a shopping experience within the metaverse, but also for each and every store that they have, each and every location. And you can see some of the stats here on how popular it was on the launch. Obviously, it was accompanied with a lot of media attention, press releases. But I think the most mind-blowing stats here are that there was a huge increase in online sales in the first month. Obviously, everyone is excited about it, but it shows that there is value in this. I know a lot of people are kind of skeptical when you talk about metaverse and those types of phrases, but we can see that there is value. And another mind-blowing stat is the average time within a store. So this is something that we can monitor. Treedis has a full analytics, advanced data that is always shared with the client, and we can monitor how long each user is spending within the store, what he's looking at. And 5 minutes is a huge number. We see that it's in average digital twins, the retention rate is less than a minute. I think it's 50 something seconds. So first of all, you see that there's a lot of engagement, and that engagement is obviously thanks to the different visualizations that we spoke about, like the fitting box features. But it's also very amazing to see that this is something that the client cannot monitor on a physical store. He cannot time how long each client is spending inside the store until he leaves. So this is another layer of information that we're providing the client that beats the physical shopping experience. And I wanted to ask you again, Dominique, what was your kind of point of view on this project? How did you experience this project working together with Treedis in front of Optical Center?
So that was very nice, because Optical Center is one of our customers from many months. So we are working with them, and we were very excited basically to go beyond, because what we did today was only having the virtual try-on on their website, which is already a great thing, because that helped to convert. But going to that next level thanks to Treedis, so recreating that metaverse world plus the digital twin of each stores. So that's gonna even be more amazing, because they are going to reach more customers and being able to convert more, which at the end of the day is the important things. And we had some other examples, some other use cases where it's more focused on the virtual try-on. So for example, Fielmann, that's the Optical Center, but on the German side. So they are leading the German market in terms of retailing. So they have more than 900 stores, and they are selling basically 7.2 million frames every year.
Wow.
So they are reaching a lot of customers. And like many retailers a few years ago, okay, going to digital, it's a bit different. It's not something a company we're used to. And we have some very interesting number on there, because they made an A/B testing on 5 million consumer. So 2.5 million had access to the virtual try-on, and 2.5 other million didn't get access to the virtual try-on. And they really wanted to know, okay, is it going to make a difference to have that virtual try-on available for all our friends? And what they saw on there, they were very nice to share with us the statistics, and we are happy to share them with you today. So basically, with virtual try-on, that means that new digital world, digital twin, that can also be linked to Treedis in a way. So the increase of the conversion rate for the sunglasses was multiplied by 3. And also very important, because in business, you have the digital sales, but as I say, it's all mixed story. So you also have customers who are going to prefer to make the final buying, especially for eyewear, because you have the fitting, you have also the lens part.
Mm-hmm.
So they have been able to increase the appointment numbers by 2.5. So that's also a lot of value for a retailer. So you are increasing the conversion rate by 3, plus you are bringing 2.5 more customer in the store, making an appointment. So not just only visitor, but people who ask for a meeting. So that's also something. So plus we can add a lot of other features like the Tradies feature tomorrow. So and that can even be bigger.
Wow, this is I love the way that the ROI is so straightforward here. You know, it's not something that you kind of it's not a vague ROI. It's very direct. You see instant results, and these stats are quite amazing. And like you said, Dominique, it's because of that emotion that we're creating with the users. And another interesting case study that I wanted to share today is a project that Treatise did with the Havells. Havells is an Indian multinational electrical appliance retailer with an annual revenue of almost $2 billion US. And they came to Treatise because they had a challenge of they also wanted to take that extra step moving into the virtual world, and they wanted to create their flagship store, which has many products. It has over 300 products, and they wanted to offer that same shopping experience within the digital twin. And what we did is, and you can see it in the clip that's playing, we captured the store and then we developed custom integrations to their payment systems, to their inventory systems. So everything was automatic. And once everything is automatic, the updating is also very simple to do because, you know, some of these things change. It's seasonal collections and things like that. And once everything is connected and automated through an API, it's very easy to update this and have the store, the virtual store, always up to date with the physical one. And here's where we've seen amazing positive feedback. You can, if you go online now on the Havells website, you can see it for yourself. But it was again that extra customization that they were interested in, which was the filtering of a product purchase according to your shipping area, to the zip code. And it's just another small thing that that's the way they wanted to work. And Treatise were, of course, happy to play along with that. And we developed wonderful features for them. And this is a huge case study. Like I said, it's on their website and also on our website, the full story. I want to talk to you, Andreas, about some of your projects that you've been working on in terms of what you've already done, what types of stores you've seen. Is there anything that's in common with the clients that you're already working with?
Of course. First of all, I guess everyone in the webinar now understand which is the new generation of online shopping with all the things what Dominique has taught and so on. Our challenge and our focus is to bring this case studies which you have shown on these huge companies to the small and the middle enterprises, that everyone can use this kind of virtual shopping experience. And therefore we are doing nothing besides the last year to give the companies more visit time on their website, more clicks, and more visibility in the internet, together with this virtual tours and virtual experiences. And you ask which kind of customers we are doing. That's very very wide. From you see a sports boutique to furniture stores as well, like we have seen before, to CBD stores. On the video you see a very small roastery with a very exclusive espresso machines and products. We have done pharmacies, and now we have, I guess this 25 is even more now, these 25 WeCommerce solutions in development for this small and medium enterprises with the beginning of this year. And as you can also see on the video, we try to give with our features, which we've developed together, a navigation system through the virtual tour that you can find very easily the different departments. For example, you can see on the left a video where the company owner has the possibility to say hello virtually to his customers. The next step would be that this will be able with avatars speaking, that we have more social experiences in this WeCommerce. And so we are growing and growing in this area to bring WeCommerce and virtual experiences to everyone. That's our mission.
That's great. And this roastery example is, to me, it's amazing because, you know, you would think that if someone wants to buy a coffee machine, then he would want to taste and, you know, be there. But it's amazing to see that pretty much every single type of shop finds the value in making this adaptation to the virtual world, because like you said, Andres, it's the new era. So if you don't join, if you don't, you know, adapt to the new trend, you're going to be left behind. And everybody wants to be part of this, and everybody wants to get a taste of the most advanced technologies and features that everyone has to offer. At the end of the day, that's also, I guess, a type of you know, the competition, because everyone's, you know, retail is a very competitive industry. And to create that advantage on your competitors, you have to show that you're working with the most advanced technological tools. And looking forward, I want to just discuss a little bit about what's next. So in general, what's next for the world of retail in the WeCommerce, in the virtual metaverse, we can call it. So McKinsey Metaverse report was very specific on how the e-commerce within these virtual spaces is going to be affected by all the by the metaverse itself, and how, like we saw in the beginning, the stats, the graphs, the revenue is just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And they make a forecast all the way to 2030. And like we said, that's the trend. And for us, I think the challenge is for companies like Treaties, like Charlie Rocks, like Fitting Box, is to always try and develop and offer new and improved services and products, so that we're always managing to create the best shopping experience available. And I know for Treaties, we're always working on, like I said, developing new integrations and creating additional features and upgrading the social experience that I was talking about with the avatars. But I want to also hear, we can start with you, Dominique. What are the future plans of Fitting Box for like the next year, for 2023?
Okay, so for us, of course, we want to continue the expansion of virtual try-on because that's a place where we are continuing to grow. So we are going to add a lot of customers to the Fitting Box ecosystem. But basically, as we are investing more than 5 million during the last 4 years in research and development, in order to continue to be upfront and to be in advance on this market, we are also going to enter some new markets. So the market of digitalization of asset outside of the eyewear. So we are going to start to digitize shoes. You have an example there of a sneakers, but that's going to be any kind of shoes. So after I've been building the biggest eyewear database, so we are also looking to build the biggest shoes database. In order to have those items and those contents to be usable on virtual try-on, but also on 3D viewers. in order to incorporate them in any v-commerce, virtual commerce that are going to increase. And I couldn't say more than what you say. So basically, v-commerce, virtual commerce, metaverse, it's a little bit what the car was to the horses a few decades before. So it's gonna happen. It's already happened. So it's time to enter in the train, if I may say, because that's the next generation of commerce. So phygital, but digital is going to be a very important part of that for tomorrow. On Feedingbox, of course, we are focusing on creating the future, innovating. We have been selected by the CES in Las Vegas, by Vivatech. So basically, we are recognized as a company who invest, who innovate all the time. And that's, we are not going to end that.
Wow, that's amazing. I really look forward on working on the next big shoe retailer with you guys. It looks amazing.
Yes. Thank you.
Andreas, what can you share with us a little bit about the future plans for Charlie Rocks in your region?
Yeah. First, I have a figure also there. Maybe it's good to fit to the McKinsey data, because 60% of the German population will use 2025 AR and VR features frequently. Wow. And that was a huge amount when we heard that. And the figure is out of a masterclass of the last year, and it was published by Snap. And they are working with their filters very, very fast regarding this topic VR, AR, and this virtual try-on as well. I could imagine that there is a contact between Fittingbox and Snap as well. What we have seen last year. Yeah, and our focus is to get a small piece of this German market, which is very huge. It's 10 times bigger than in Austria. To plan this, to enter this German market this year with e-commerce, and have a few hundred e-commerces the next year together with you guys. And therefore we are looking to techniques like self-scanning, because you said before that the products in the stores are changing very fast, and there is necessary maybe to scan more often and to teach our customers how to scan by themselves, because now you have to buy very expensive cameras for a few thousand euros when you are a dealer or a retailer, and now it's also possible to scan with your new iPhone, for example. And the second thing we are looking to is this topic CGI, that the virtual room is just real virtual and has not to be scanned anymore. And the quality is getting better and better. And this is also amazing for flexibility in the future, I guess. And that's our plans for the Central European, for the so-called Dachraum, the next year.
Yeah, and it's I'm happy you mentioned the CGI, because a lot of small retailers sometimes don't even have a physical store. You know, maybe it's just an operation they're running from their backyard, garage, or something like that. And they understand that they don't necessarily need to rent a physical space and create a physical store to have an online store. And what Treatise does with Charlie Rocks for a lot of these smaller retailers is creating a CGI space based on a 2D floor plan. So this is a digital twin of a space that doesn't exist in the physical world. So just try to, I mean, we see these retailers going wild because there's no limitation. They don't need to decide if the store is going to be 9 square feet or 10 square feet. You know, create a CGI space of 100 square feet and put all your collection products in there and design it exactly the way you want. And that comes nothing, it's not even a fraction of what it would cost them to create that physically and capture that and maintain that. So the CGI option is also really, we see it very popular with the small to medium enterprises that want to create a very customizable store that isn't necessarily based on a physical store, which is great. And another stat that you mentioned in the beginning, Andreas, is that 60% of German population will be using VR and AR. Treaties is also highly involved in the AR field. So I know we've been talking about online shopping, but there's always a way to enhance the physical shopping by adding AR capabilities. So I know that the simple AR use case that we're all familiar with is maybe walking around a huge mall and holding up your phone to navigate to the restrooms or to the nearest Nike shop, and it will show you the navigation path. But it's so much more. Because once you enter the store, you can use the AR to see all the content. You can see implemented 3D objects like the ones that Fitting Box create, or you can see clips, hear sounds. These are things that you might not necessarily have in the physical store. So it's really interesting to see how these retailers start with the VR solutions, with the virtual solutions, but they also very quickly find interest also in the AR solutions. And this is great because I see already how 2023 is going to be a lot of collaborating between Fitting Box and 3Ds and Charlie Rocks to offer clients with all these wonderful products. We're almost at the end here. We do have some time for Q&A. So I know that during the webinar, Noemi answered some Q&A, and I see that we still have a few questions. So let's look at them now. I see that I'll start with Ibala Ruiz. She's asking about the business plan model. She says shops need to change the products a few times a year, and it can be very costly. Do you have ideas for returning retailers to make it affordable and really practical? So I think we kind of touched on that a little bit. And Andreas, you mentioned that that's a big challenge when you're talking to small to medium enterprises. So Andreas, today, what are the solutions that you offer? You mentioned a little bit about phone capturing.
Yes, that's one of the solutions. The first solution is that we think that it's not necessary to have one-to-one this product in your virtual space, which you're buying afterwards. For example, glasses. If there is a shelf of Ray-Ban glasses, and then you do a e-commerce there, you click on the Ray-Ban shelf, and then you see all the 50 Ray-Ban glasses which are possible to buy. And it's not necessary to have one-on-one every product which is able to buy in the shelf. Or also in boutiques, for example, if the shirt is hanging there in blue and it's just available in the one size in red, then it doesn't matter. So you can, when we stay at the boutique example, you can have a summer scan and a winter scan, and then you can change, for example, that. If it's very necessary to have one-to-one the products in there, then you have also the possibility to do virtual staging. So you can put virtual frames with product pictures, for example, on the walls. And as I said, in the future, but it's possible from now on, I guess it will be more and more that the customers or the companies will scan themselves new scans, because the technique is going forward. The new iPhones are doing very, very good quality scans. And if you have to be that flexible, then I guess it will go to this direction.
Yeah, yeah. It's always about kind of cutting expenses for the retailer because
Exactly.
capturing and editing, it's a lot of it can be time consuming, and those are some great solutions that you mentioned that can help reduce the time and resources invested in that. Another question I see from Roberto is he wants to ask about training. The idea for us is to be pro and to be able to be sure that we have the solution to the client's needs. So I'm assuming Roberto is talking about like Charlie Rocks reselling this to retailers. So of course, Roberto, if you're interested in such a similar collaboration with Treaties, we have all the tools to train and educate our partners. I think the same way that we've done with Charlie Rocks, I know that although we're in different countries, we've already met twice or three times the different teams and in constant communication. Because of course, if we want to partner with someone, we want to make sure that they have all the professional information. So of course you can get in touch with that and we'll continue the discussion. Let me just see if we have a few more questions. Bez is asking if we can share commercial model costs to the clients. So unfortunately, we can't share costs to clients because this is obviously under NDA. But if you have a potential client that you want to involve and is interested either with the Treaties e-commerce or in the fitting box solution, you can get in touch to with either one of us and ask for a price estimate or quote. I'm sure both of us would be happy to, hold you through the whole process. And that leads us to the final question, I think, by Georgie, is pretty much, he's asking, I'm interested, do products, for example, glasses, need to be scanned separately to try them? So I think that's one for you, Dominic. So if I have glasses inside a glasses store and I want to have the try-on feature, how do I create that model? Is that a separate sort of scan?
Yeah, there are two solutions. As we have the biggest database in the world today, so there is probably a big chance that the frame you are selling in your stores are already available in our database. So then with an API, you will check straight away if the frame is in our database. If it's the case, then the frame is going automatically to appear tryable online. If it's not the case, if it's your private collection, then you have the possibility to send us the frame, and then we will scan it and add it to the database, and it will be available straight away for you to try it. So basically two solutions. Normally, it should be available straight away directly from our database. In some case, if it's a brand new product, you will have to send it and we will scan it.
Fantastic. And one last question that I see here is, and this came for both Charlie Rocks and Fitting Box. If someone is interested in getting in touch with you, discussing a little bit more, what is the best way to get in touch with you? Dominique, we'll start with you.
So my email will be shared in the description, or you can ask for my emails to Treaties on my mobile phone, and please contact us. Otherwise, I'm also available on LinkedIn, so you can send me private message, but I'm really open to any discussion. So I will share my email on my mobile phone in the discussion.
Great. And Andreas, if anybody wants to get in touch with Charlie Rocks,
it's nearly the same, and I also can share a link where it's possible to book an appointment directly with Charlie Rocks, and let's share our data. No problem, of course.
Great. And for getting in touch with Treaties, you can always check out the website, and there's a call to action there. That's pretty much our time for today. I'd like to really thank you very much, both Andreas and Dominique, for joining me today. It was very, very interesting. I also want to thank everyone for attending this webinar, and of course, Noemi for being here the whole time and helping out with the preparation and the Q&A during the webinar. And I hope to see everyone soon in the next webinar.
Thank you very much for the invitation. You're more than welcome. That was a pleasure to attend.
All right.
Thank you, Boaz, for hosting as well. Have
Take
a good
care.
day, everyone.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.